I just want to start this interview off by saying congratulations to the two of you two. Your big film is going to be making this world premiere this year at the 2021 Tribeca Film Festival. That is a huge honor. I had a privilege to check it out already, and I instantly had to email a friend and say, hey, I have got to talk to them about this. It was such a compelling story. I have a lot of questions about it. As well as questions for the two of you two. But I definitely want to start off by saying, how are you all taking it all in? Like next week is going to be a huge week. It's going to be a rush, you know, and this is a big festival. So like, how are you all like making sense of this right now?
Yeah. Well, I don't know what to expect yet. Like I can't have any expectations. I mean, I can kind of compare everything to boxing, and he's been here before. So I just know, I can kind of feel it's going to be crazy, you know, just grounding myself. And I'm excited that this is finally getting out to people so they can see, they can get the message. But you've been here before, homie.
yeah, that's right. Yeah, but yeah, you're your second time around.
Yeah. I mean, I'm very grateful and honored that Tribeca supporting, you know, our film again. Yeah, it's surreal, you know, coming out of sort of a strange year and a half where, you know, even just the state of movies, you know, it's like, what's really going on? What's going to happen? Yeah. So yeah, it's a little surreal. My mind is like a little foggy still, you know, but you know, I'm excited and grateful and really honored to be at Tribeca again. So yeah, we'll get back used to it. You know, we'll see. One day at a
time. As you should. Joseph, what's kind of been your conversations to Kaylee, who's making her big screen debut here, as she does in any fashion when she enters? It's always a big deal. But what's kind of been your conversation to her, saying like, hey, you know, I've been here, you know, expect this and that, but what's kind of been the prep on that note between the two of you two?
Yeah, I mean, just, you know, we've been doing this. This has been a 4-year run. So we've been, you know, talking about this for a long time. So you know, I think she's used to it. She knows, because a lot of it is similar to boxing. You know, she's a world champion boxer.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I think, you know, just keeping her grounded, you know, don't get too gassed up, you know.
No, never that.
No, but you know, just any advice about the industry and how it works, and you know, and you know, getting managers, and you know, I'm hoping, you know, I really hope that you know, it opens up more opportunities for her for acting, because I think there's a lot of potential there. So just you know, just keeping us grounded, you know. We help support each other, you know.
Yeah.
She keeps me positive, because I can be a Debbie
Negative
Downer.
Nelly. Negative Nelly, bro.
Kaylee, I have to ask a question that immediately, you know, I follow some of your boxing career, and knowing that you now stepping into the world of acting, and then all the things you do in the world. I mean, the humanitarian work, and just the reason why you box, you know, fighting for your nations. I could not go any further but to think, like, what do you do for self? Everything is for everyone else. Where do you kind of set back and, you know, self-care and decompress? I don't think I've ever heard you ever say anything that you are going to do something for yourself. It's just always for this or for that.
That's a good question. You know, and I was just speaking about this. I really started having to go outside of things like boxing, which was my kind of outlet and go-to for myself. Once I started finding out what my path was with being an Indigenous woman, and having another path and having a whole different reason why I box. And that was when my brother passed away. Boxing was my outlet, and that also was our thing. And it just wasn't doing it anymore. I didn't even want to go to a boxing gym. So being an artist and being very expressive, I'm a Virgo. So when I say leave me alone, I won't be left alone, honestly. So I find solace in having my own space, going in nature, or even getting back to my roots, going back home to Rhode Island, going to our native lands, going to see my mom, just being in nature, having quiet time, because everything's so chaotic. You know, boxing is a beautiful painting. You know, it's very, very chaotic, but you have to be very calm. I still love boxing. I work out for myself, but I have to do things like meditate, yoga, read books, turn off my phone for a month.
Yeah.
Go play with, I have dogs and I don't have children, so play with my dogs. I am also a motorcycle mechanic. I ride motorcycles. I do everything, you know what I mean? So sometimes, because everything is so chaotic, just sitting in a room with nothing else going on is pretty much what I do, but I need to be by myself. I like my own company, so that's what I do, to be with myself.
Oh, I'm glad. With the climate of the world over the last few years, and with everyone having to really go on timeout last year, and then I just like, okay, well, everyone's pausing. It's like, well, I could not find any indication that you were. That's why I was like, I gotta ask, like, what are you doing in your spare time? Like, how are you kind of just chilling out? So, but nothing is great. Nothing is absolutely great. And this is kind of a part B to that for the two of you two, is that, so again, everything you do, boxing and humanitarian work, you always do it for other people. At what point did you put the pen or pencil to the paper and say, this is the story that I want to tell? Am I breaking out? Okay, I'm still here. Okay. And then how did you and Joseph kind of come together with this idea?
Well, so
you can tell that story.
This goes back. I mean, I met KO in 2017. At 4 years ago, at the time, I was really getting into boxing just for myself. I had such love and appreciation for the sport, and I found her through the social media page of my friend's boxing gym, and and so I was immediately drawn to KO, but not just because she was a world-class boxer, but also because she was this artist and activist, who uses her platform to speak out on issues she cares about. And so, I was immediately drawn to her, and I knew I wanted to meet her because I'm a filmmaker trying to do a similar thing. So I reached out to her and we linked up. I borrowed my friend's car, drove up to Providence, brought my little camera, and I just started hanging out with her and interviewing her. And at the time, she was preparing for a fight. And she had to go train a few times a day at this gym. So I was just asking, hey, can I go along and can I just hang out with you? So we go into this archetypical, tough, gritty, hot gym with boxing champions in there, ripped up dudes, and then there's KO with her Grace in there, just doing her routine, working out. And then it came time to start sparring and stuff, and some guys were talking some junk and stuff. So she put her headgear on, got into the ring, and started going toe to toe with these guys. And it was in that moment, an inexplicable thing as a filmmaker, that I saw that power, that truth to power, and I was like, I got to put this hero in a film. I got to put this on the screen. And one thing that KO talks about and fights for is the missing and murdered Indigenous crisis in North America. And it's something that I was reading about and learning about at the same time as well. So basically, I started talking to her about an idea coming together to make a film that touches on this. And basically we had an initial idea of a woman searching for her sister, because one thing that's for us, one thing that we constantly bonded on while thinking about the story was we both have siblings, older siblings that kind of helped raise us. So we started, with an initial idea and exploring ideas, and then I invited her into the creative process to collaborate with me and come up with the story and give her perspective and her insight and her thoughts on stuff. Because KO she's gone around and traveled to reservations. She's spoken to people who've lost loved ones. She spoke out at the VAWA conference in 2018. Mm-hmm. Is that right? So. And similar to my first film, I always feel like I need a collaborative partner, to make a film, and they usually take a long time. So, we made a pact. Let's do this together. I want you to act in it. We're gonna, it's gonna be a crazy ride. I'm gonna push you. We're gonna go places, and we'll just find a way to make the film. And basically. So 2 years later, 2019, the end, right before the pandemic, we shot right before all that happened.
Oh,
miracle!
Nice.
I mean, we got it right before.
One of the coldest places known on earth.
Buffalo, New York. Yeah, we shot the film.
Yeah, that's awesome. This may be a mild cheat question here, but because this film is being in the U.S. narrative competition, what would you say is the message that you want viewers to take from this film? And because I'm asking the cheat question, I will say my thoughts of what I think it is. And I think it's very simple. I think there's a vast amount of ignorance towards this subject matter. I think it's easy to say that when people think about the mistreatment of indigenous people and missing people, you think other countries. And the fact is, it's happening in New York. It's the idea that, hey, folks, wake up. Like, this is happening right here in your backyard. We need to speak about this more. This needs to be on the forefront of attention instead of it just being a thing like, oh, it could never happen to me type of thing. And I thought they really humanized the character Kaylee in a sense that's so relatable to others that it at some way, point, or shape that you say like, I could be that person, or this could be me, and this could be my family. Beyond all the action that kind of goes on within it, at core, this was the message that was trying to be relayed to viewers, and I just thought that was so empowering. But yes, you can if by all means, what would you say is the message that you would like for viewers to take from it?
You pretty much hit it on the head, especially being Native American, Indigenous people, Indians, however you identify, are known as, in the past, like dinosaurs. Oh, you're Native? I thought you guys were extinct. Or there's this one-dimensional view of Native American, Indigenous, Indians, however you want to identify, or we have casinos, or we're alcoholics, or whatever. And there's also an even bigger stigma of mixed Indigenous folk, mixed Black Indigenous folk, mixed Cape Verdean Indigenous folk from the Northeast Woodland area. And like you said, this missing and murdered Indigenous women and relatives or people is something that happens every day, every hour, every second. It's something that happens since the dawn of time, since the colonists came and first touched a toe on Turtle Island, what we call North America. This is something that didn't happen in the past. We're not people of the past, we're people of our ancestors, and we're people that are here in the present. And this does happen. And there's so many other reasons why you may or may not see it on mainstream media. And one of those biggest reasons is because we are a forgotten race. We even got called something else on the voting as voting. We were something else. You know what I mean? We're not even identified. We as Indigenous people know what goes on, just like we do in the Black community. We know what goes on in our communities, but everybody else doesn't. Having non-Indigenous allies, having non-Indigenous media platforms for these things to get out there and for things to have to create change is really what the message is. And that this does happen. It can happen. It happens right in your backyard. And Indigenous women, Indigenous people are a huge target because no one cares. And that's what the message is to mainstream media, is that no one cares. So why not? We should do this. But you hit it pretty much on the head.
1 second to take that in.
Take it in and swallow it, man. I mean, right now, somebody could be taken. I get alerts on my phone every day, all day. A relative of mine, she's from the Mashpee Wampanoag tribe. She's not from Seekonk, but she's from the Wampanoag Nation. She was 18. She got taken away. And I was actually fighting in Florida, and they found her body in Florida. This was really close. I've had family members that have gotten into that world and got taken. So it gets closer and closer. And because I put myself out there being a boxer and now an actor and an artist, somebody might be, oh, now she's telling our story, let's take her. I'm doing, this is risky business as well. But I'm here for it. I'm here for it all. And I'll do whatever I can until my last swing.
And that's kind of really synonymous with the character in the film, is that this character, and I was going to ask how much of this character is an extension of you, because this character is very content with the idea of going into this journey and not looking back. There's no happy ending here. There is no return home. I'm going to do what I got to do. And I thought that element of the story was so compelling. And, that's what I was going to, kind of throw to the two of you two. When it came down to constructing this character, how was that kind of the think tank? Like, what was it? Because I could easily sit back and think this could be such a learning curve that you may get distracted that you have to build the character here. But what was those conversations like when you were kind of building this character?
I mean, I think a big part of it was we wanted to take, the feelings that the whole thing was drumming up between us. Like, oh, are you there?
Oh,
are you there? Did we lose you?
I'm back. I don't know why it cut me out like that, but I'm back. All right, let's go.
I mean, in no way, this is an 85-minute film, so it's no way going to be like an answer or a complete explanation of the issue or anything like that, But what we really wanted to do is we wanted to take, the themes, the frustration, the pain, the loss, the regret, and we wanted to put that on the shoulders of KO. We wanted to infuse that into her character. So it's in every scene, it's in her body language, it's in her eyes. And, we wanted to feel it in every frame and be with this character, grounded with her, and sort of rip the audience through this roller coaster of a ride. Oh. And using genre to bring an audience in through suspense and tension, but at the end, leave them in a place of thinking, leaving them in a place where there can be more conversations to be had. And all these themes, that's why I leaned on KO a lot obviously for the story and all this stuff. All the themes she's touching on there, we wanted to, obviously not in any heavy-handed way, we wanted to just kind of touch on them in the film, but nothing is really super explained, you know what I mean? It was always grounded in her character, her being the emotional heartbeat. And for us, it was just someone who was a champion boxer, lost her sister, fell from the graces. All she wanted to do was find her sister and get back in the ring. And that's what she's setting off to do. And one thing we always said is the film has to be unpredictable but inevitable. And so, the ending, I know it's for some people it might be really sad, so on and so forth, but I just feel like it's the correct ending for the story that we were telling, because reality. Because this one, we take this warrior, right? This who literally can break people with her fists. We give her that. We give her knives. We give her a gun. We give her all these things, right? But what she's fighting and trying to overcome is bigger than just oneself. And so that's sort of the idea of it. And I hope that resonates. You never know. Everyone's individual experience of a film is different. But
there was a lot of parallels between like reality and this character, personally myself, but it was really important for me to get that message across. But if I had to pull from real things that I've known, like I said, I've heard these stories, I got stories for days, but there was a lot of parallels, but they worked for what the message needed to be. So if I had to use a kind of a parallel, even down to the name, you know what I mean? That's exactly what it needs to be.
Yeah. Whew, I see. I knew upon doing this interview, it was going to be empowering like this. So every second I'm just taking it all in and trying to metabolize it on the go. All right. So for my final question, because I don't want to take too much of your time, and I know you have plenty of other things to do today and other people to speak to. I do want to know, although we got to talk to the two of you all, how was it in general working with the entire cast and the filmmaking crew into doing this? Because this wasn't an action film. It wasn't a sports film. This was a film that had to tell a story. So what was kind of the, once everything was all done and it was a wrap, what was kind of the reactions coming from your fellow cast members and crew?
I mean, this was it's not easy to make a film like this. It's not easy to find the money. I mean, it looks like, more than it is, but I can promise you it wasn't a big budget movie.
It does look fantastic. Yes, indeed.
but we're blessed to have an amazing group of collaborators. Like we were a family, I mean? By the end of it, we were all a family. Both the producers, Molly Asher and Kim Parker, who are legends, amazing, have done amazing films themselves. Molly just won an Oscar. But I went to film school with them. We're in the same year, the same class. So they're basically family. My editor also went to film school with, we're in the same year. So, as a director, I mean, every director's dream is you want to work with like the people you love and keep making films with them as you start to make bigger films or whatever. And I think that was really the environment that we created. And so when it was all said and done, I mean, it was, it's bittersweet, sad,
I will say the first day though, I knew I had a lot to prove because I know the cast was coming in to just do another job. And I know they're still like, oh, this is just a boxer trying to act. Oh my God, here we go. But I will say at the end of day one, I had everybody the whole cast was like, listen, I had no idea it was gonna be like this. No, we're into this now. We were Googling you. Yo, wow, you sure you've never acted? Like, I knew I had to kind of like, all right, I got to hit him with a quick one too real quick. Cause I could tell they're like, oh, hi, yeah, we're the art department, whatever. You know what I mean? But everybody was amazing. We all meshed like a family. But I will say that the first day I had a lot to prove.
Well, everyone, the first day jitters. Everyone, yeah. I was not even a person. mess.
Well, again, fantastic job. I truly appreciate this film being made. So much to have been learned from it. Overall, it's just as a body of work, it's fantastic. Kaylee, for your debut, I mean, you knocked it out. It's not even a question. I much like you said, I was Googling like, nah, there's got to be something else here. Like, this doesn't make sense.
Here I am.
And Joseph, welcome back to Tribeca. Hopefully you have many more projects, and maybe the two of you all will work together in the future again. I wish I had more time because you two are so empowering. This is so much to be learned from you two. But in due time, maybe we'll do this again soon. But for now, I truly appreciate this so much.
No. Thank you, man. Thank you for the time.
Thank you very much. Appreciate
Absolutely. It. And good luck at the festival. And thank you so much for the ones putting this together for today. So thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good one.